Hey guys, Eat the Geek here. It's been quite a long time since I've done a Lorcana video. I don't even know when I did the last one and what it was even about because it was so long ago. Um, but if you play Lorcana, follow the at all, you would know that the last regional for Lorcana, or what they call the DLC, was actually in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I live in Wisconsin. Milwaukee is uh actually where I was born. I was born in Milwaukee. Um, Apologize for my voice. Where I currently live now, I'm about 30 minutes south of where Milwaukee is. Um, yeah, I was actually born in Milwaukee. So this DLC was very close by. I went to DLC Chicago last year, which I may have done a couple videos on that. Um, Hard to believe it was a year ago already. Um, but fast forward to now, and they're kind of back close by, and it's just like, well, they're right in my own backyard. I might as well go to the DLC. I actually wasn't planning on going. Didn't get a ticket at first. I had the attendee badge. Then some main event tickets opened up on a random night, like on a Wednesday or a Thursday before the week of the event. Before the event started, obviously, I was able to snag one. Someone was posting in the Discord that, hey, tickets are up. Go buy one go buy one before they all sell out. And I did, and I actually got one. Um, and thankfully the staff were cool about um letting me into the event. You know, I have two tickets on my account, and that's not allowed per their rules. But they just voided the other one to give me that one. And it's like, I don't even care about the refund for the attendee badge. I just want the main event badge since I paid for it. So just give me that one. um, so I got in, and I'm happy I did because I actually got to play. I don't play much Lorcana, or I haven't played much Lorcana at all recently, other than the store championships, which I have one last one this upcoming Sunday that I have to play in. Um, I don't really play Lorcana weekly events. It's just the occasional pre-release or store championships or the DLC. That's it. I don't play Lorcana weekly. I've been doing a lot of Star Wars lately, as you know, with my videos and stuff, and getting a 16th place. I've been focusing on that game a little bit, but now I have to shift focus to Riftbound, which will be this upcoming weekend. In addition to playing more Lorcana, but before I get to this event, as always, the DLC, it's the people that make the event decent and fun and worth going to. So many different people from all over the world show up to the event. I think for this one, there was like people from France and Germany and Italy, uh, California, other side of the U.S., Canada, Mexico, all showed up to just to play in this event. Um, I believe it was over 2,000 people at this event. So twice the size of the one in Chicago last year. So it was a lot of people in there. At times it was very crowded, especially in the play area. Um, Definitely thinned out by the end of the first day, and definitely day two. Only about half the people were left. Um, but I had fun at the event. Um, I played all 8 rounds in the main event. Uh, my final record was 4-4, and as you see on this screen, I was 719th place. So that's not great, but that was my ending record. Um, and then I think I can show my deck list here within the play hub, and the play hub only crashed a couple of times during the event, which is, I can't even say if that's better or worse than Melee, because I still deal with Melee with Star Wars. Melee still kind of sucks. The play hub hasn't been much better, but having everything kind of integrated into the system is nice. Um, also keeping it separated from the other games. I think I like that before, instead of having to do melee for Star Wars and Lorcana and potentially Riftbound and Altered. Using melee is it gets tedious to trying to separate all those games, and you really can't. But now just having melee just for Star Wars, at least at the moment, and then having the play hub for Lorcana, having those two separated is really helpful for me. People who play multiple games keep track of everything. So this is the deck list that I played. I'm still playing Amber Steel Aggro, is what I've been playing the last 2 or 3 sets now. Whenever Tiana initially came out, that's when I started playing it, and then I started playing Tiana. I was playing Tiana before it was cool, quote unquote, before it became meta, and now it's meta. And everyone plays Tiana. But this was definitely the deck to play for the event. Aggro had a very strong showing. Aggro actually won the event. It wasn't Amber Steel though. It was Purple Steel. There was a lot of stuff going on with this event and this meta, even though the next set is about to come out and everything's going to change. This was an event for Aggro to win, and it did. It just wasn't Amber Steel. It was Purple Steel. Congrats to the winner. Obviously, everyone's talking about the 10-year-old who beat DKP, the world champion, knocked him out of contention for the Golden Mickey. Congrats to that kid as well. He was also playing Amber Steel Aggro. A lot of people were playing, I think they're calling it Sky's build or Harlan Sweet's build of Amber Steel Aggro, which was playing the 1-drop Aurora. I couldn't get 1-drop Auroras before the event started because I had very last-minute prep time. I'm surprised I did as well as I did with the last-minute prep time that I had. Only getting 2 hours of sleep and staying up all night to try to finish my deck list at the last minute because my Auroras didn't show up in the mail before the event. So I had to improvise, and I actually liked my improvisation to the deck. It worked out. I tried to cater my build for my expected matchups more so than my worst matchup. So I have a better chance against Amethyst Steel, which I did play. I played 2 of them and beat both of them. At the cost of making myself weaker against my worst matchup, which was Blue-Green, which I did play 1 of and I did lose to. But Blue-Green wasn't that much at the event. I think the stats are up for the event of the most commonly played decks. Played against a lot of Blurple. Obviously, that was expected to win the event. It didn't make it all the way to the top 2, but it actually didn't win. Aggro just gets under it too easily. So my build is pretty much standard. I call this the greedy Aggro build. It's greedy because it's playing, I believe, 24 Inkables. Nothing here is too standout or unusual. The only thing that's going to be a slight difference is I'm actually playing, when I find it, 4 of this card, the Prince. I actually borrowing an idea from the I can't remember her name, but the SCG tournament winner was playing Amber Steel Aggro. That was actually before this event. A very, very unique build. She was playing a lot of different cards. The one ideas of hers that I like was playing a 2-cost bodyguard to just help protect your other characters, because all your characters are very weak, very low power. They have decent amount of toughness, but if your opponent dropping big drops, they get taken out pretty easily. And typically the deck only plays Pluto as a bodyguard. And I believe in her build, she actually wasn't playing Pluto. She was playing what was it? The 7 dwarf bodyguard. I think is it Grumpy? He's a 0/4 bodyguard. That's really all he does, but he's a 2-cost inkable. Um, she was playing that. Um, and I like the idea of it because it, like I said, it protects your weaker characters. Because what usually happens is that your opponent, Pluto being a 4 cost, he's a little bit too slow. Even as a 4 cost, he's a great bodyguard, but he's just a little bit too slow. As that 4 cost bodyguard, you have to hard cast him by himself on 4 resources, and that's really the top of your curve. And then you're tapping out just for a bodyguard, and usually the opponent can ping him, which lowers him down to a 1/5, and then they just kill him. So my thought was just play a bodyguard that still has the 5 power, but like it doesn't need stats. That also makes you stronger in the purple steel matchup, which I won my 2 matchups. Because you're not dealing damage back. It makes their bell play less impactful because you're not putting damage on their characters. They have to swing into your guys to actually have power to take damage, then play the bell to do damage, but you have a bodyguard out. Also, usually what happens is that they will go after Lady to kill Lady when you play a Lady play, but with Lady you now have a bodyguard you can drop, which is the Prince. Also works with Penny because she can heal it, give it resist, and it makes him very hard to kill. You usually have to throw 2 or 3 characters in them and just ruins their whole turn if they want to like kill your Lady or kill your Nala that's exerted and they can't even get to it. Because you have this big 0/5 or a 0/5 with resist 1 sitting on the board that they can't touch. Your Lady potentially gets to quest a second time, which usually doesn't happen because she's only a 2/2. So she usually dies. She's usually the first thing that dies right away as soon as you drop a Lady. Protects Nala, so Nala can swing twice, potentially for 6, which is insane. So I really like the inclusion of this card. And I think even after the next set, Amber Steel kind of has to evolve and mutate and try different things to do well. Just like with the SGC winners build, her build was very unique and different, and she won the event. Now Amber Steel didn't win the DLC, but that was a much bigger event with more people, higher skill ceiling of players and the quality of players. So this build didn't go as far and couldn't do as well at like the very top, but still had very high representation. A lot of people did very well with Amber Steel. I think there are a lot of Amber Steel in the top 32 or top 64, top 32, top 16 even were a lot of Amber Steels. I didn't get there. I only got 4/4. I think like for some of my matchups that I played, round 1 I 2-0'd Amethyst Steel. It was the Prince bodyguard that got me there easily. The Amethyst Steel that can't answer a bodyguard with that much health as easily. And because it's a 0/5, it doesn't do damage back, so they can't rely on their bell play to like move damage around. Usually that's what they would do to like nerf your Pluto and then kill your Pluto, but they can't do that with him, the Prince. Also, the Snow White for a late game thing that they can't really challenge also really hurts them. They have to have removal to out this. This was more so for Blurple, because Blurple can't really answer this without like Bell to move damage counters on it. She just sits there and gets the quest. This was another different card that I was playing instead of the Pluto. Unfortunately, she didn't work out as well as I wanted her to. She really didn't get a chance to do a whole lot that day. From what I remember, I think she only actually got the quest once or twice, and it didn't really matter. She's an annoying card for Blurple and even Blue Green to see because they can't touch her, they can't interact with her like they normally want to. But she really needs the Auroras, which I didn't have, to make her a slightly lower cost when she comes out on 3 potentially. Then she's really annoying if she can come down a turn earlier. On turn 4, she's really not that great. And again, this is the top of your curve. You really don't want to be playing 4-drops at all. You kind of want to stick to 1, 2s, and 3s. It's a lot easier. Ironically, there really isn't like a great 4-drop character in Amber Steel aggro to play other than Rhino. Big Rhino, obviously the shift 2 one. I think this is like the only good character at this cost to play in this color combination. Like Pluto is playable, but he's not good. Rhino is good, and I think that's it. So we need another card on 4 to actually make it worth playing. Otherwise, only the 1, 2s, and 3s are really viable right now. But yeah, Amasteel 2-0 round 1. Round 2, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember all of them, and I'm not sure if I can pull it up in the app here without, tabbing out of that. I think I'd have to go back in rounds and do some other things to get all that information. Maybe rounds. Yeah, it doesn't show my matchups, unfortunately. I wish it did. And I don't know if there's a way to make it do that. Yeah, this is kind of what the only feature that I wish this had that Melee had. This doesn't have that type of feature, unfortunately. And I didn't write down my matchups because it was such a long day, and because I had played so many rounds, I couldn't write them all down. So at the top of my head, what I'm trying to remember is I know I played 2 Amethyst Steel. I won both of those, and then so I only won 4. The only other 2 matches that I won, I think I had one mirror match that I won, another one that I lost, and then I think I beat one Blurple deck. But then the other 3 losses, I think there was a blue green that I definitely lost to, and then I think the other 2 were Blurples that I lost to. So it was actually a fairly decent spread of decks that I played against. It was nothing too abstract. There was no like non-meta decks or like super weird rogue decks. That was actually all in the Infinity Core video, which I'm actually gonna do a second video for that because I have to remake my deck list and then on like Dreamborn something and then post it so I can actually talk about it. Infinity Core format is actually very interesting. For Lorcana, I think that format has a lot of potential. Although if you're not playing Steel, you're not winning. Steel is the best color in that format. Every deck that was doing well was playing Steel. Nothing else was even viable. And it's because Steel has all the removal, but you already knew that. But I'm gonna do that in a separate video. I'm not gonna do it in this video because I want to separate the video so I don't have one super long, like hour-long video. But yeah, I was 4-4. As for what I would change for the deck, I definitely want the Auroras in here. Just falling in line with how everybody else is playing with the deck. Didn't really think the Aurora would be that impactful, but it really is. Being able to play a Tiana a turn earlier or a Mulan for 0, or in my case, I could play Snow White on 3 instead of 4. It completely changes the dynamics of the deck. And being able to drop a unit or drop a character a turn earlier or a character unexpectedly at a slightly lower cost really throws off the opponent's game plan of them only expecting this character only to come out on this turn, but then it comes out a turn earlier. Now they have to answer another character or a character way earlier than they wanted to, and they might not have the answer for it. And there really aren't that many viable princesses or queen characters right now. I think we get a couple more in the next set, because Aurora only works with princess and queen characters. I believe she is a princess, so technically she can play. She can also play herself for a 0 if you have another one out. But right now, other than herself, it's really only Mulan and Tiana are the only princesses that the main decks consistently are those 2. Those are 2 fairly important ones to where it does matter being able to get a Mulan for 0, so you get a free Mulan on the board that you didn't have to pay for, even though Mulan's just kind of like a whatever throwaway character. Tiana is definitely very relevant, and I think that's how the 10-year-old, I believe his name was Aiden, I think, won most of his games was being able to Aurora into Tiana turn 2 and then potentially even be able to play, a Mulan for free, or another Aurora, or even the second Tiana, which kind of just locks out certain decks, which is what we used to call the Tiana lock, because if you get two of them out, it just kind of blows out certain decks. Red decks just can't do anything about it, and I think even a lot of Amethyst Steel decks, if you drop double Tiana, they can't really answer it. They have to play removal, and they have to remove both of them, and that really throws off their game plan. And that's how he won a lot of his games, was Aurora just curving out into extra characters for lower cost or free, and being able to flood the board with characters a lot sooner than you normally could, even with the deck. Even though this deck already does that, your plays each turn are kind of limited to certain characters, but being able to curve out faster with Aurora existing and questing and lowering the cost, it really changes things. That very well might become the key linchpin card for the deck moving forward, until something happens or aggro just starts to suck in the format. But yeah, it's definitely the deck I'm sticking with moving forward. Like I said, as for changes I would make, I definitely want to play the Auroras, but I have to redo the entire deck just to fit those in, and then change a couple of things around. But it probably would end up looking too much like probably Aiden's list, if anything. I'd rather do my own thing, but there really aren't too many card options, so I probably would just have to wait for the next set to try to like really explore my options within the Amber Steel aggro space to see what's available, and also what Princess and Queen characters we get in the next set that could potentially add to this deck to make it better. Is definitely where I'll be looking. But as for now, focusing on Riftbound, because Star Wars is kind of done until next year, and so was this really. After my last Store Champs, Lorcana is kind of done until next year for me, more or less. It's going to be all Riftbound after this weekend. But yeah, that's kind of my deck profile list thing or whatever. Not super elaborate, but I definitely wanted to do a video just to talk about it, since I was at the DLC. I actually went, so I wanted to talk about my experience, how it went, and how I did with my build. So my build was slightly different than everybody else's. So yeah, kind of like and subscribe. I appreciate all the support. I don't do Lorcana videos often, so when I do, I try to make it put as much information in the video as I can, and try to go over my thoughts on the deck and how I played the deck and how I feel the deck is in the current format and environment. So if you like that, please, like the video. That definitely helps out a lot, so that way I know people want me to keep doing this and keep doing these type of videos, and actually keep doing Lorcana videos in general. So like I said, because I rarely do Lorcana videos. It's probably the ones that I do the least, besides Star Wars right now, or whatever the other ones I'm doing. So yeah, that's it. I will do the Infinity Core video as a separate video. It should come out right after this one. So be on the lookout for that video. And until next time, have a good night.